Could I shoot pretty much every kind of photo that I want to do in my day for photography with just one lens? This is a 50 millimeter equivalent, 25 millimeter on this OM-3. Can I use just this one lens to make it all work for the whole day? Minimalist photography, minimalist street, travel, and I don't know what else I'll cover. Let's go for it and see what happens. Look how warmly dressed I am. That's because it's single digits here in Massachusetts. What I love about Micro Four Thirds, especially as a street photography or travel or architecture photography rig, is everything's so small. This is a 35 millimeter equivalent lens. Look how small in my hand. It's so tiny. I have one of these in one pocket. I have a 90 millimeter equivalent in the other pocket. And like I said, today I'm just going to use the 50 on my camera, which again is 25 millimeters in Micro Four Thirds. That's the beauty. Everything is so small you can take it with you. So when I say minimalist street photography setup, everything you do with these Micro Four Thirds cameras is minimal. That's the best part of it. Let's go see what I can do. In fact, I'll tell you some of where I'm going to go. I'm going to go to Mad Martha's, which is a breakfast place on Plum Island, and I'm going to go around Salisbury Beach. I've got something at the Lowell Boathouse, which is a boathouse from the 1700s that is still a functional wooden sailboat shop. And there's a holiday parade. So I think I can cover a whole lot of different things. One lens. Let's see how well I do. All right, so my challenge today is a one lens challenge. One of the coolest things about the Micro Four Thirds camera system is the lenses are so small. In equivalent terms, I've got a 35 millimeter, I've got a 90 millimeter, and on the thing, I have a nifty 50, a 50 millimeter. Now in Micro Four Thirds, it's a 25 millimeter. I'm gonna leave just this lens on my camera and I'm gonna shoot with just the 50, and I'm gonna do a variety of shots, close, far, maybe I'll do a portrait. I'll get a whole bunch of these shots and we'll see how it does to do minimalism of gear and still see if I can capture the whole thing. One lens, one camera, that's the challenge. I live not that far from here. This is Salisbury Beach, and in the summertime it's just packed to the gills with people because it's a beach and it's where people swim and they eat awfully tasting beach pizza. And one of the things I like to take, though, is I take it in the off season. I'm so into the look of everything's coming, falling down and whatever, and so that's one of the reasons I come here and shoot a lot. one of the limitations when you shoot this kind of way is if you're shooting 50, sometimes you got to get back a ways. 50 is one of those perfect in the middle, wide enough that you can pretend to do a wide shot, close enough that you could even do a portrait, but sometimes it means you got to walk back a little ways. So this is what I was trying to get. I want to get all the way from the Joe's Playland sign, the Coke machine, and the homemade ice cream, and just kind of get a sweep of like, nobody's here. But that didn't exactly go the way I wanted until I kind of moved the right way. So there's a shot like this, there's a shot like that. Photo booths, you can't not shoot a photo booth. I'll do that one black and white as well. Confession time, but it's not much of a confession. Certain focal lengths are our jam and we can do them all day long. 50 is mine. This camera here, the OM-3, this is a 50 on it. It sits on there most of the time. So me saying, can I do the same one in one day? That's not a lot of work. My Nikon D700, what did I buy for it? I bought a 50 millimeter lens for it. That's what's on it. I just sold almost every Sony lens I had. What Sony lens did I keep for my Sony full frame? 50. I have 50s on all my cameras. 50 is my focal length. Some people call it boring, that I've heard before. Some people say it's the closest to what our natural eye does. I don't know. I've never found that science anywhere. But for me, 50 is my thing. I could do 50 all day, especially because I do like to take a lot of more close-up stuff, and I do like to be able to take slightly closer scene kind of photos. I like the mid-scene kind of look. I don't need the wide establishing shot. 50 all day. And I promise I'm not throwing shade on anybody, but when I go to the subreddits and see all the various people asking the question about what lenses do I need, and a lot of times they'll do it as if it's like a math equation. I've got from 24 to 70 and then 70 to 200. What else do I need? As if like that's the way to measure it. But what I've learned is that if you shoot with a fixed lens, you get a different kind of experience. When you do that, especially as meditation, you think, what's this frame look like? What's this frame look like? You start to know what 50 gets you. I can shoot 50 all day because I know it. Now you can do it with whichever one you want. Some people go their whole career with just a 35 millimeter lens. The idea of multitudes of lenses is something that is more a marketing experience. Or if you're a very creative cinema person or something, like there's times and needs for other lenses than just a 50. But what I think is, as we're going around and we're looking at this for the all day kind of shooting, what's the one that's going to be the most versatile to cover the most of the use cases you want? And besides, I already did do another kind of challenge where I took out the Leica Q2 and I was working with the 28 millimeter focal range. Boy, I still have a lot to learn in that range, but it's all great at wide establishing shots. Okay, so the last leg of the journey is over. I went and did the holiday parade in this town, super tiny little town, super fun. And in the process of doing so, it was fun because in a parade, you have to kind of get around people to get the material, you know, to get the people. Like if I don't want to step over everybody and be in the area where like official photographers go, you have to shoot over people. I'm tall, I'm pretty tall, so I can get the shots. but you do a few with the people in them so that you kind of get that sense that there's a crowd, and then you try to get your kind of more straight, clean shots. So I got some. Also, this is crazy. There was a police drone overhead. I've not seen that yet before, but like scanning the crowd, making sure we were all safe, ostensibly. I knew from the start I was not going to have a problem doing a one lens challenge. I do this lens as a matter of course, but I wanted to show you that you could do a lot of different types of pictures in a minimalist way. Now, again, if you are looking at the photos in this video and you're like, wow, these were all kind of close up, you can go with a different lens length for a one lens challenge. You can go 35, you can go 28, you can go whatever. And it's obviously different for like subject matter as well. But this is what I did. This is the challenge I laid out. I think Micro Four Thirds camera systems are so great. For the other video I just did about Nikon D700, I was lugging that big beast around all this time. This little loose, tiny guy is so good. I love Micro Four Thirds. I'm so glad I discovered it a little later than most people. But wow, what a good thing. This is the OM system, OM-3. It's got 20-ish megapixels. This is the camera was released in 2025. It's a great camera, so give it a shot if you're thinking about it. Or if you don't quite have the budget for the OM-3, go back in time and look at something like the old Olympus OM-1 if you like a slightly better grip, and OM-5 if you want almost exactly this, the EM5 Mark II that I had. That's a great camera. And there's also the Olympus EPLs. Now, I haven't even gotten to Lumix yet. At some point, maybe I'll shoot that. Who knows? This is a challenge about lenses today, not the bodies. Let's get out of here, okay? Chris at chrisbrogan.com. Listen, if you haven't watched the rest of this series, there's Camp Snap, there is this Nikon D700. There's this one about one lens, and there's two more coming that I forget about. One is iPhone versus a regular camera, and I'm missing one in there, but there's 5. And there's a whole playlist set up that you'll see at the end of the video. See you soon, and remember, be good to yourself. Reddit, subreddit.
I should have known. Now get a shot.